My dear friend, you've arrived here tonight not by accident, but by the silent calling of your soul. I'm Dr. Bruce Lipton, and I want you to know that everything you've been searching for, every prayer you've whispered in the darkness, every moment you've wondered if transformation is truly possible, it all led you to this sacred hour. Take a deep breath with me now. Feel your body settling into this moment. Perhaps you're lying in bed. Perhaps you're sitting quietly in your favorite chair. Wherever you are, know that you are exactly where you need to be. The universe has orchestrated this meeting between your conscious awareness and the infinite field of possibilities that exists within you. Tonight, we're going to explore something revolutionary, something that bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and quantum science. We're going to discover how a simple sound, a sacred vibration, can create what I call quantum coherence between your heart and your mind. This isn't just theory, my friend. This is the cutting edge of human potential made manifest in your very cells. You see, for too long, we've been taught that the mind rules the body, that our thoughts control our reality. But what if I told you that your heart, yes, your physical heart, contains more neural pathways than many areas of your brain? What if I told you that your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5 times stronger than your brain's field? What if the key to your transformation isn't in forcing your mind to think differently, but in allowing your heart and mind to dance together in perfect harmony? This is what quantum coherence truly means. It's not some abstract scientific concept. It's the state where your heart's wisdom and your mind's power align so perfectly that your entire being becomes a tuning fork for miracles. When you achieve this state, especially during sleep when your conscious defenses are down, you become a living bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. Tonight, you're going to experience something that thousands of my students have discovered, that there exists within you a vibrational frequency that, when activated, transforms not just your thoughts or emotions, but the very cellular structure of your being. This sound we'll explore together isn't just heard with your ears. It's felt in your bones, recognized by your DNA, and embraced by the quantum field that surrounds and interpenetrates every atom of your existence. I know you've tried many things before. Perhaps you've meditated for years, read countless books, attended workshops, repeated affirmations until your voice was hoarse. And maybe you've wondered why, despite all your efforts, that deep, lasting transformation still feels elusive. Tonight, I want to show you why this happens and, more importantly, how to move beyond those limitations. The secret lies in understanding that your body isn't separate from your consciousness. It is your consciousness made manifest in physical form. Every cell in your body is a quantum processor, constantly receiving and transmitting information. When your heart and mind achieve coherence, they create a unified field of intention that your cells can't help but respond to. This is why the sound we'll share tonight is so powerful. It speaks directly to the intelligence within your cells, bypassing the mental chatter and conscious resistance that often blocks transformation. As we begin this journey together, I want you to release any expectations about what should happen. Transformation rarely occurs the way we think it will. Instead, it unfolds like a flower blooming in perfect timing, guided by forces far more intelligent than our small, conscious minds. Your job tonight isn't to make anything happen. Your job is simply to receive, to allow, to trust the process that wants to unfold through you. The ancient mystics knew something that modern science is just beginning to understand. Sound is the fundamental creative force of the universe. In the beginning was the Word. Wasn't just poetry, it was physics. Every atom in your body is vibrating at specific frequencies. When you introduce a coherent sound pattern during sleep, you're essentially giving your cellular orchestra a new sheet of music to play. Tonight, as you listen to this sacred vibration, imagine that you're not just hearing a sound, but receiving a transmission from your highest potential self. This frequency carries within it the blueprint of who you're meant to become: healthy, whole, aligned, and awake. It carries the memory of your true nature before fear, doubt, and limitation convinced you otherwise. So breathe with me now, deeper and slower. Feel your heart beginning to slow its rhythm. Feel your mind starting to quiet its endless commentary. You're entering the sacred space where transformation is not only possible, but inevitable. Welcome to the threshold between who you've been and who you're becoming. Welcome to the sound of your own awakening. As your breathing deepens and your body relaxes into this sacred space, I want to share with you one of the most profound discoveries of my lifetime. A discovery that will forever change how you see yourself and your potential for transformation. For decades, we've been operating under a fundamental misunderstanding about human intelligence. We've been taught that the brain is the command center, the CEO of our biological corporation. But what I've discovered through years of research into cellular biology and quantum physics is far more extraordinary and empowering than anything we previously imagined. Your heart, my dear friend, is not just a pump. It's not just the muscle that keeps your blood flowing. Your heart is actually a highly sophisticated intelligence center, containing over 40,000 neural cells, neurons just like those in your brain. These cells form what scientists now call the heart brain, a complex neural network that can learn, remember, and make decisions independently of your head brain. Think about this for a moment. When you say, "I know it in my heart," you're not speaking metaphorically. You're describing a biological reality. Your heart literally knows things that your mind hasn't yet grasped. It processes information in ways that transcend logic, accessing what we might call intuitive intelligence or, in quantum terms, non-local awareness. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart is approximately 5,000 times stronger than the field generated by your brain. This field extends 8 to 10 feet beyond your physical body, creating what I call your personal quantum field. Every thought, every emotion, every intention gets broadcast through this field, influencing not only your own cellular structure, but the quantum field around you. When your heart and brain are coherent, meaning their electromagnetic patterns are synchronized and harmonious, something miraculous happens. Your entire nervous system shifts into what researchers at the HeartMath Institute call a state of psychophysiological coherence. In this state, your body's systems operate in harmonious alignment. Your thinking becomes clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your intuitive abilities dramatically enhanced. This is why the sound we'll experience tonight is so powerful. It's specifically designed to entrain your heart's rhythm into a coherent pattern that naturally synchronizes with your brain waves. When this happens during sleep, when your conscious mind isn't interfering with analysis and doubt, the transformation occurs at the deepest cellular level. Imagine, if you will, that your heart is like a master conductor of an orchestra, and all your organs, cells, and systems are the musicians. When the conductor is confused or erratic, the music becomes chaotic, discordant. But when the conductor, your heart, finds its rhythm, finds its coherence, the entire orchestra begins to play in harmony. This is what we call heart-brain coherence, and it's the foundation of all genuine transformation. Your heart doesn't just feel emotions, it generates them. Research shows that the heart begins responding to emotional stimuli before the brain even receives the information. Your heart literally knows what's coming before your mind does. This is why gut feelings and heart-centered intuition are often more accurate than mental analysis. Your heart is connected to the quantum field of infinite possibility in ways that your logical mind simply cannot access. During tonight's journey, as you listen to this sacred vibration, you'll notice something beautiful beginning to happen. Your heart rate will naturally begin to smooth into a more coherent pattern. This isn't something you need to force or control. The sound itself will guide your heart into this state of coherence, the way a tuning fork causes another tuning fork to vibrate at the same frequency. When your heart achieves coherence, it sends signals up to your brain that literally change how your brain processes information. The brain begins to operate more efficiently, more creatively, more intuitively. Old neural pathways that kept you stuck in limiting patterns begin to dissolve, while new pathways aligned with your highest potential begin to form. This is the biological basis of what mystics have called thinking with the heart. It's not poetic language, it's cutting-edge neuroscience. When your heart and brain are coherent, you begin to access what I call cardiac intelligence, a form of knowing that transcends the limitations of purely mental cognition. Think about the times in your life when you've made your best decisions. I'd be willing to bet they weren't the result of endless mental analysis, but rather moments when you felt clear, centered, and somehow just knew what to do. That's cardiac intelligence in action. That's your heart and brain working in perfect partnership. Tonight, as this sacred sound washes through your being, it's creating the optimal conditions for this partnership to flourish. You're not just listening to a frequency, you're allowing your heart to remember its true role as the wisdom center of your being. You're giving your brain permission to receive guidance from this deeper intelligence rather than trying to figure everything out through mental effort alone. Feel it happening now, even as I speak these words. Feel your heart beginning to open, not just emotionally, but neurologically. Feel the intelligence within your chest awakening, preparing to communicate with the intelligence in your head in ways that will transform not just how you think, but who you are at the most fundamental level. This is the beginning of true coherence, not just as a concept you understand, but as a lived reality you embody. Your heart is ready to teach your mind what it means to be truly alive, truly conscious, truly free. Now, as your heart begins to find its natural rhythm and your mind settles into this receptive state, let me guide you deeper into understanding what quantum coherence truly means for your life, your health, and your transformation. When I speak of quantum coherence, I'm not talking about some abstract physics concept that exists only in laboratories. I'm talking about a very real, measurable state that occurs within your own body when the wave patterns of your heart, brain, and nervous system align in perfect harmony. It's the state where your biology becomes your biography in the most literal sense, where your physical being becomes a perfect reflection of your highest consciousness. Think of it this way. Every cell in your body is vibrating. Every organ has its own frequency. Your heart beats in rhythm. Your brain waves oscillate in patterns. Your breathing creates waves of expansion and contraction. Most of the time, these rhythms are like a jazz ensemble where everyone is improvising. There's life and energy, but not necessarily harmony. But when quantum coherence occurs, it's as if a master conductor steps in, and suddenly every instrument begins playing the same magnificent symphony. Your heart rate variability becomes smooth and wave-like. Your brain waves shift into alpha and theta patterns associated with creativity and deep learning. Your nervous system releases stress hormones and begins producing chemicals associated with healing, regeneration, and bliss. This isn't just a feel-good state, my friend. This is a state of optimal biological functioning, where your body literally becomes a different organism, one that's capable of healing itself, manifesting its desires, and accessing information and abilities that seemed impossible in the incoherent state. The sound you're about to experience has been precisely calibrated to induce this state of coherence. It's based on mathematical ratios found throughout nature: the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, the harmonic proportions that govern everything from the spiral of galaxies to the structure of your DNA. When you listen to this frequency, you're not just hearing music, you're receiving a transmission that speaks directly to the quantum field within and around your body. Here's what happens at the quantum level. In normal consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations are like scattered radio signals, each broadcasting on different frequencies. Your heart might be feeling fear while your mind is trying to think positive thoughts. Your body might be tense while you're attempting to relax. This incoherence creates interference patterns that actually block your ability to access higher states of consciousness and create positive change in your life. But when the sound tonight entrains your entire system into coherence, something magical happens. All these scattered signals begin to align, creating what physicists call constructive interference. Instead of canceling each other out, your thoughts, emotions, heart rhythms, and brain waves begin to amplify each other, creating a unified field of intention that's thousands of times more powerful than any individual component. This is why people often experience what seem like miracles when they achieve states of deep coherence. It's not that the laws of physics are being violated, it's that they're finally being harnessed properly. When your entire being is broadcasting the same signal, the quantum field has no choice but to respond by organizing reality in alignment with that signal. During sleep, this process becomes even more profound because your conscious mind, with all its doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs, steps aside. Your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your biological functions, becomes the primary receiver of this coherent information. And unlike your conscious mind, your subconscious doesn't argue, analyze, or resist. It simply accepts and begins to implement the new programming. This is why the mystics always spoke of the importance of sleep and dreams for spiritual transformation. They understood intuitively what we now know scientifically. The sleeping state is when the deepest reprogramming occurs. When you combine sleep with coherent sound frequencies, you create optimal conditions for cellular transformation. Tonight, as you allow this sacred vibration to wash through your being, imagine that every cell in your body is a tiny radio receiver, and they're all tuning into the same station, the station of your highest potential. Feel the interference patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation beginning to dissolve, as all aspects of your being align with this single, pure frequency. This is not visualization or imagination, though those can be powerful tools. This is actual physics occurring within your body. Your cells are literally changing their vibrational state to match the coherent frequency you're receiving. Your DNA is responding to these sound waves by expressing genes associated with healing, growth, and regeneration, while suppressing genes associated with stress and aging. The ancient mystery schools taught that sound was the fundamental creative force of the universe. In the beginning was the Word, the primordial vibration from which all matter crystallized. When you achieve quantum coherence through sacred sound, you're literally tapping into this same creative force that brought the universe into being. Feel it now, as your breathing naturally deepens and your heart finds its perfect rhythm. Feel your brain waves beginning to slow into the alpha and theta states where transformation naturally occurs. This isn't something you need to effort or control. The sound itself is doing the work, creating the coherent field that allows your entire system to remember its natural state of harmony. You are not separate from the quantum field. You are the quantum field, temporarily organized into the beautiful, complex, magnificent pattern you call your life. Tonight, you're allowing that pattern to reorganize itself into greater harmony, greater coherence, greater alignment with the truth of who you really are. Welcome to the state where miracles are not only possible, but inevitable. Welcome to quantum coherence. As you settle deeper into this coherent state, I want to share with you the personal journey that led me to this profound understanding. A journey that began in a laboratory and culminated in a complete revolution of how I understand life, consciousness, and human potential. Many years ago, I was a conventional cell biologist, firmly rooted in the materialistic worldview that dominates modern science. I believed, as I was taught, that genes control biology, that DNA is destiny, and that we are essentially victims of our genetic inheritance. I spent countless hours studying cells under microscopes, documenting their behavior, and accepting without question the dogma that the nucleus, containing the DNA, was the brain of the cell. But then something happened that changed everything. In my laboratory at Stanford University, I began conducting experiments that would challenge everything I thought I knew about life itself. I was studying the behavior of cells in culture dishes, watching how they grew, divided, and responded to their environment. And what I discovered was absolutely revolutionary. When I removed the nucleus from a cell, the part containing all the DNA that supposedly controlled everything, the cell didn't die immediately as theory predicted. Instead, it continued to live, to eat, to respond to its environment, and to exhibit all the behaviors of a living cell. It just couldn't reproduce. This simple observation shattered my understanding of cellular biology and opened a door to a completely new way of understanding life. If the nucleus wasn't the brain of the cell, then what was? Through years of careful research, I discovered that the real brain of the cell is actually the cell membrane, the thin layer that surrounds the cell and interfaces with its environment. The membrane is covered with thousands of receptor proteins that act like molecular antennae, constantly receiving and interpreting signals from the environment and instructing the cell how to respond. But here's the truly revolutionary part. These environmental signals don't just influence the cell's behavior. They actually control which genes get turned on and which get turned off. The environment, not the genes, is in control. And in the case of human beings, our perceptions of the environment, our beliefs, thoughts, and emotions are what create the signals that control our genetic expression. This discovery led me to what I now call the new biology, the understanding that we are not victims of our genes, but masters of our fate. Our beliefs, literally, become our biology. When we change our perceptions, we change our genetic expression. When we achieve states of coherence between heart and mind, we create optimal conditions for the expression of genes associated with health, vitality, and peak performance. This is where sound comes into the picture, and why the vibration you're experiencing tonight is so profoundly transformative. Sound waves are environmental signals. When coherent, healing frequencies reach your cells, they create a vibrational environment that encourages the expression of genes associated with healing, regeneration, and optimal function. During my research, I discovered that cells in culture dishes would change their behavior dramatically when exposed to different vibrational frequencies. Healing frequencies would cause cells to thrive and regenerate. Discordant frequencies would cause cells to become stressed and eventually die. The implications were staggering. If this was true for cells in laboratory dishes, what might it mean for the 50 trillion cells that make up the human body? I began to understand that every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold creates a vibrational environment within your body. When your thoughts and emotions are coherent and positive, you create an internal environment that encourages health and vitality. When they're chaotic and negative, you create an environment that promotes stress and disease. But here's what makes tonight's experience so special. Achieving coherence through willpower and mental effort alone is extremely difficult. The conscious mind, with all its conditioning and limiting beliefs, often interferes with the process. However, when you use sound to entrain your nervous system into coherence, you bypass the conscious mind's resistance and work directly with the body's natural tendency toward harmony. The frequency you're listening to tonight is based on years of research into what I call biological resonance, the specific vibrational patterns that encourage optimal cellular function. It's not random music or arbitrary tones. It's a precisely calibrated frequency that speaks to the deepest intelligence within your cells, encouraging them to remember their natural state of health and coherence. As this sound washes through your being, imagine that each of your 50 trillion cells is receiving this transmission. Imagine that the receptor proteins on each cell membrane are recognizing this frequency as a signal of safety, healing, and optimal function. Feel your entire biological system beginning to shift into a higher state of organization and coherence. This is not wishful thinking or new age fantasy. This is biology in action. Your cells are literally responding to this vibrational information by changing their gene expression patterns. Genes associated with stress and aging are being turned off, while genes associated with healing and vitality are being activated. What's happening in your body right now is the same process that happens during spontaneous healings, moments of profound insight, and experiences of transcendence. You're creating the optimal biological conditions for transformation by aligning your entire system with a coherent frequency. The beauty of this process is that it requires no effort on your part. You don't need to visualize, affirm, or try to make anything happen. The sound itself is doing the work, creating the coherent field that allows your body's innate wisdom to express itself fully. Tonight, you are not just listening to music. You are participating in a biological upgrade, a cellular reprogramming that will continue to unfold long after the sound stops playing. You are proving to yourself that you are indeed the master of your genetic destiny. And that transformation is not only possible, but natural when the right conditions are created. This is my gift to you, the culmination of a lifetime of research condensed into this single, powerful frequency that can help you remember who you really are at the cellular level. As your cells continue to receive and integrate this healing frequency, I want to guide you deeper into understanding the magnificent bridge that's being constructed right now between your heart's wisdom and your mind's power. A bridge made not of matter, but of vibration itself. You see, my dear friend, everything in the universe is vibration. This isn't metaphysical poetry. It's quantum physics. Every atom in your body is in constant motion, vibrating at specific frequencies. Your thoughts create electromagnetic patterns. Your emotions generate biochemical cascades that pulse through your system in wave-like patterns. Your heart creates rhythmic electromagnetic fields that extend far beyond your physical body. Most of the time, these various vibrations exist in a state of relative chaos, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because you've never been taught how to orchestrate them into harmony. It's like having a magnificent orchestra where every musician is talented, but they're all playing different songs at the same time. Tonight, the sacred sound you're receiving is acting as the conductor of your personal orchestra. It's providing a master frequency that all the other rhythms in your body can attune to, creating what I call a vibrational bridge between all aspects of your being. This bridge is most powerfully constructed between your heart and your brain, because these two organs generate the strongest electromagnetic fields in your body. When their rhythms synchronize, they create a unified field that influences every other system. Your endocrine system, your immune system, your digestive system, even your genetic expression. Think of your heart as broadcasting on one frequency and your brain on another. Most of the time, these frequencies are not aligned, creating interference patterns that limit your ability to access your full potential. But when they synchronize, when they find coherence, they create what engineers call constructive interference, where the waves amplify each other instead of canceling each other out. This amplification is what creates the sense of expansion, clarity, and power that people often experience during states of deep coherence. It's not just a feeling, it's a measurable increase in the electromagnetic power of your body's fields. In this state, you literally become a more powerful transmitter, capable of influencing the quantum field around you in ways that seemed impossible before. The sound you're experiencing now is specifically designed to create this bridge. It contains harmonic frequencies that resonate with both heart and brain tissue, gradually entraining them into synchronization. As you listen, you may notice your breathing naturally deepening and slowing. You may feel a sense of expansion in your chest. You may notice your thoughts becoming clearer and more peaceful. These are all signs that the vibrational bridge is forming. But this bridge does more than just connect heart and brain. It creates a unified field that connects you to what quantum physicists call the field of infinite possibility, the underlying quantum soup from which all material reality emerges. When your internal field becomes coherent, it begins to interact with this larger field in ways that can seem miraculous to those who don't understand the science behind it. This is why people in coherent states often experience synchronicities, intuitive insights, and what we might call lucky coincidences. They're not actually lucky. They're operating from a state of coherence that allows them to perceive and interact with the interconnected nature of reality more directly. As this vibrational bridge strengthens in your system tonight, imagine that you're not just connecting heart and mind within your own body, but connecting your entire being to the larger web of consciousness that connects all life. Feel yourself becoming a clear channel through which the intelligence of the universe can flow. This is what the ancient mystics meant when they spoke of union, not some abstract spiritual concept, but a very real state of vibrational alignment, where the boundaries between self and cosmos begin to dissolve. In this state, you don't lose your individuality. Instead, you discover that your individuality is an expression of something infinitely larger and more magnificent than you previously imagined. The frequency you're receiving carries within it the vibrational signature of this unified state. Each wave is like a tuning fork, helping every cell in your body remember its connection to the greater whole. As your cells attune to this frequency, they begin to operate not as separate entities, but as integral parts of a larger coherent system. This cellular coherence creates the optimal conditions for healing, creativity, and transformation. When your cells are vibrating in harmony, your body's natural healing mechanisms function at peak efficiency. Your brain's capacity for insight and intuition expands dramatically. Your heart's ability to generate and sustain positive emotions becomes effortless. But perhaps most importantly, this coherent state allows you to become a living bridge yourself. A bridge between the world of matter and the world of spirit, between what is and what could be, between your current reality and your highest potential. Feel it happening now as the sound continues to weave its magic through your being. Feel the barriers between heart and mind dissolving. Feel your thoughts becoming infused with the wisdom of your heart. Feel your heart opening to receive the clarity and focus of your mind. This is not just a temporary state you're visiting. With each moment of coherence, you're literally rewiring your nervous system, creating new neural pathways that make this state more easily accessible in the future. You're training your body to remember how to be coherent, how to be unified, how to be whole. The vibrational bridge you're building tonight will remain with you long after this session ends. It will make it easier for you to access states of clarity, creativity, and connection in your daily life. It will help you make decisions from a place of inner knowing rather than mental confusion. It will allow you to radiate a presence that others find naturally attractive and healing. This is the gift of coherence, not just personal transformation, but the ability to become a source of coherence for others, helping to raise the vibration of everyone you encounter. Tonight, you're not just healing yourself, you're becoming a healing presence in the world. As you continue to relax into this coherent state, feeling the beautiful bridge forming between your heart and mind, I want to reveal to you one of the most powerful secrets of human transformation: the extraordinary nature of your subconscious mind as a quantum receiver, and why this nighttime journey is the perfect time to reprogram your deepest patterns. Your subconscious mind is far more than just a repository of memories and automatic behaviors. It's actually a sophisticated quantum processing system that operates according to principles that seem almost magical to our everyday awareness. While your conscious mind can process about 40 bits of information per second, your subconscious mind processes approximately 20 million bits per second. It's like comparing a flashlight to the sun in terms of processing power. But here's what makes your subconscious mind truly extraordinary as a quantum receiver. It doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. It doesn't operate according to linear time. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously in its awareness. And most importantly for tonight's journey, it's directly connected to what physicists call the quantum field, the underlying fabric of reality from which all possibilities emerge. Right now, as you listen to this sacred frequency, your conscious mind is beginning to step aside. The analytical, critical, doubting aspect of your awareness is naturally quieting as your brain waves shift into the alpha and theta states, associated with deep relaxation and receptivity. This is creating the perfect conditions for your subconscious mind to emerge as the primary receiver of the transformational information encoded in this sound. Unlike your conscious mind, which filters everything through your existing beliefs and past experiences, your subconscious mind is completely open to new programming. It's like a quantum computer that accepts new software without question, immediately beginning to run the new programs and reorganize your entire system according to the new instructions. The frequency you're receiving tonight contains what I call quantum information, vibrational patterns that carry the blueprints for optimal health, emotional balance, mental clarity, and spiritual connection. As your subconscious mind receives this information, it begins to automatically restructure your neural networks, your hormonal patterns, your genetic expression, and even your cellular vibration to align with these optimal patterns. This process is happening right now, beneath the threshold of your conscious awareness. You don't need to understand it, control it, or even believe in it for it to work. Your subconscious mind is designed to receive and implement vibrational information. It's one of its primary functions. All you need to do is relax and allow the process to unfold. Think of your subconscious mind as a quantum radio receiver that's always scanning for signals. Most of the time, it's picking up the chaotic mix of frequencies from your environment, the stress patterns of modern life, the fear-based programming from media and culture, the limiting beliefs inherited from your family and society. These frequencies gradually program your subconscious with patterns of limitation, scarcity, and disconnection. But tonight, you're deliberately tuning your quantum receiver to a different station, the frequency of your highest potential. As your subconscious mind locks onto this signal, it begins to download new information about who you really are, what you're truly capable of, and how your life can unfold when you're aligned with your deepest truth. This download is not happening in your brain alone. Remember, your subconscious mind extends throughout your entire body. Every cell contains quantum receptors that are sensitive to vibrational information. As you receive this frequency, your cells are literally being reprogrammed with new instructions for optimal function. The beauty of working with your subconscious mind during sleep is that all the conscious resistance that normally blocks transformation is absent. During your waking hours, when you try to change limiting beliefs or negative patterns, your conscious mind often interferes with thoughts like, "This won't work for me," or "I've tried this before," or "I'm not the kind of person this happens to." But in this relaxed, receptive state, those interfering thoughts naturally quiet down, leaving your subconscious mind free to receive and implement the new programming without resistance. It's like having direct access to your personal quantum computer when all the interfering programs are offline. As this sacred sound continues to wash through your being, imagine that every wave of frequency is carrying specific instructions to your subconscious mind. Instructions for perfect health, unlimited creativity, deep inner peace, and effortless connection to your highest purpose. See your subconscious mind as a loving, intelligent servant that wants nothing more than to help you embody your fullest potential. Your subconscious mind doesn't just passively receive this information. It actively begins to organize your entire life around these new patterns. It starts to influence your dreams, guiding you toward healing and insight during sleep. It begins to attract synchronicities and opportunities that align with your new programming. It subtly shifts your perceptions, helping you notice possibilities that were always there, but previously invisible to your conscious awareness. This is why people often report that their lives begin to change in unexpected and beautiful ways after experiences like tonight's journey. They're not just having a temporary altered state, they're literally reprogramming their quantum receiver to tune into higher frequencies of possibility. The process is so natural and effortless that you might not even notice it happening at first. But over the coming days and weeks, you may find yourself responding to situations with greater wisdom and compassion. You might notice that you're naturally making healthier choices without having to force yourself. You may discover that you're attracting more positive people and experiences into your life. These aren't coincidences. They're the natural result of your subconscious mind operating from its new quantum programming. Tonight, you're not just listening to a frequency. You're upgrading your personal operating system to align with the highest possibilities available to you. Trust the process, my friend. Your subconscious mind knows exactly what to do with the gift you're giving it tonight. All you need to do is rest, receive, and allow the transformation to unfold in its own perfect timing. As your body continues to relax and your consciousness naturally shifts into deeper states of receptivity, I want to guide you into understanding why this twilight state between waking and sleeping is perhaps the most sacred and powerful time for transformation that exists in human experience. Sleep is not simply a time when your body rests and your mind shuts down. Modern neuroscience has revealed that sleep is actually when your brain becomes most active in certain ways. When it processes the experiences of the day, consolidates learning into long-term memory, and quite literally cleans itself of the metabolic toxins that accumulate during waking hours. But there's something even more profound happening during sleep that science is just beginning to understand. During the deeper stages of sleep, your brain waves slow down into what we call delta frequencies, approximately 0.5 to 4 cycles per second. In this state, something extraordinary occurs. Your individual consciousness begins to merge with what quantum physicists call the universal field of consciousness, the underlying intelligent matrix from which all reality emerges. In this delta state, the boundaries between your individual mind and the cosmic mind become permeable. The electromagnetic field generated by your brain begins to synchronize with the Earth's own electromagnetic field, known as the Schumann resonance. You literally become entrained with the planet's consciousness, and through that connection, with the consciousness of the entire universe. This is why the ancient mystery schools considered sleep to be a sacred journey, a nightly death and rebirth that allowed the soul to commune with divine intelligence. They understood intuitively what we now know scientifically, that sleep is when the deepest healing, learning, and transformation occur. Tonight, as you hover in this liminal space between waking and sleeping, you're in what I call the theta gateway. Brain waves cycling between 4 and 8 cycles per second. This is the frequency of deep meditation, profound creativity, and what researchers call super learning. In this state, your critical, analytical mind steps aside, allowing your brain to reorganize itself in entirely new patterns. The sacred sound you're receiving is specifically calibrated to work with these natural sleep rhythms. As your brain waves naturally slow down, the frequency entrains your nervous system into deeper and deeper states of coherence. It's like being gently carried on a river of sound toward the most receptive state your consciousness can achieve. In theta, your brain produces increased amounts of theta waves in the hippocampus, the brain region associated with learning and memory formation. But even more remarkably, theta waves synchronize across different regions of your brain, creating what neuroscientists call neural coherence. When this happens, your brain literally becomes more integrated, more unified, more capable of processing complex information and making new connections. This is why insights and solutions often come to you in dreams, or in that drowsy state just before falling asleep. Your brain, freed from the constraints of logical, linear thinking, can make connections and access information that's impossible to reach in normal waking consciousness. Tonight, the coherent frequency you're receiving is amplifying this natural process exponentially. But the magic of sacred sleep goes beyond just brain function. During deep sleep, your body releases the highest concentrations of growth hormone, the substance responsible for cellular repair and regeneration. Your immune system becomes most active, sending specialized cells throughout your body to heal damage and eliminate toxins. Your heart rate and blood pressure drop to their optimal levels, allowing your cardiovascular system to rest and repair. Most remarkably, during sleep your cells enter what researchers call autophagy, a process where they literally clean house, breaking down damaged proteins and organelles, and recycling them into new, healthy cellular components. It's like having a molecular maintenance crew that works the night shift, ensuring that you wake up renewed at the cellular level. The coherent frequency you're experiencing amplifies all of these natural healing processes. Sound waves have been shown to stimulate the production of growth hormone, enhance immune function, and accelerate cellular repair. By combining sleep with healing frequencies, you're creating optimal conditions for biological regeneration and renewal. As you drift deeper into this sacred state, imagine that every cell in your body has its own intelligence, its own wisdom about how to function optimally. During waking hours, the constant stimulation and stress of daily life often interferes with this cellular intelligence. But now, in this quiet, receptive state, your cells can finally hear their own inner guidance clearly. The sound you're receiving carries information that your cells recognize at the deepest level, the vibrational patterns that represent perfect health, optimal function, and harmonious integration. As this information reaches your cells during their natural repair and regeneration cycle, they begin to reorganize themselves according to these perfect templates. This is why sleep has always been considered the great healer, not just because the body rests, but because in sleep, consciousness returns to its source, reconnects with the intelligence that created it, and receives the information it needs to recreate itself in a more perfect form. In the deepest stages of sleep, you literally dissolve back into the quantum field of pure potential. Your individual identity becomes fluid, allowing for transformations that would be impossible if you were holding on to your sense of self too tightly. It's in this state of surrender, this ego death that occurs nightly, that the deepest healing and awakening become possible. Tonight, you're not just sleeping. You're participating in a sacred ritual of death and rebirth that's been occurring every night of your life. But now you're doing it consciously, with intention, with the amplification of healing sound to guide the process. Feel yourself dissolving now into this ocean of regenerative consciousness. Feel your individual concerns and worries melting away as you merge with the vast intelligence that's dreaming you into existence. Trust this process completely. Your body knows how to heal itself, your mind knows how to reorganize itself into greater coherence, and your spirit knows how to align itself with its highest potential. This is the science of sacred sleep, the understanding that sleep is not empty unconsciousness. but the richest, most creative, most healing state available to human consciousness. Tonight, you're not just resting, you're being reborn. As you sink deeper into the state of sacred receptivity, I want to guide your awareness to the magnificent dance that's beginning to unfold between your heart and your brain. A synchronization so profound that it literally changes the electromagnetic signature of your entire being. Right now, as you listen to this carefully calibrated frequency, something beautiful is happening within your chest. Your heart is beginning to shift from the chaotic, irregular rhythm it typically maintains during stress and normal daily activity into what researchers call heart rate variability coherence, a smooth, sine wave-like pattern that indicates optimal cardiovascular efficiency and emotional balance. But this shift in your heart's rhythm is just the beginning. As your heart finds this coherent pattern, it begins to send very different signals to your brain through the vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve that connects your heart directly to your brain stem. Instead of the erratic, stress-inducing signals that typically flow from heart to brain, your heart is now sending smooth, rhythmic messages that tell your brain, all is well, you are safe, it's time to heal and regenerate. Your brain, receiving these coherent signals from your heart, responds by shifting its own wave patterns. The rapid beta waves associated with mental chatter and anxiety begin to slow down. Your brain naturally moves into the alpha state of relaxed awareness, then deeper into theta, the frequency of profound creativity, learning, and spiritual connection. This is not just relaxation, my friend. This is synchronization at the most fundamental level. When your heart and brain achieve this state of coherence, they begin to function as a unified system, rather than two separate organs. The electromagnetic field generated by your coherent heart entrains your brain waves, while your calm brain waves reinforce your heart's coherent rhythm. They create what scientists call a coherent feedback loop, each organ supporting and amplifying the optimal function of the other. As this synchronization deepens, something remarkable happens in your nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for fight or flight responses, naturally quiets down. Your parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest, digest, and healing responses, becomes dominant. This shift triggers a cascade of beneficial changes throughout your entire body. Your blood pressure drops to optimal levels. Your immune system activates its most powerful healing protocols. Your digestive system begins to function more efficiently. Your endocrine system starts producing the hormones associated with regeneration, happiness, and well-being, instead of the stress hormones that typically flood your system during daily life. But the synchronization goes even deeper than physiology. When your heart and brain achieve coherence, they create a unified electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your physical body. This field becomes a powerful transmitter, broadcasting your internal state of harmony into the quantum field around you. You literally become a source of coherence, capable of positively influencing the people, animals, and even the environment around you. The ancient mystics spoke of this as the development of presence, that quality that some people have that makes you feel calmer, more centered, and more hopeful just by being near them. Now we understand the science behind this phenomenon. These individuals have learned to maintain heart-brain coherence, and their coherent electromagnetic field naturally entrains others into more harmonious states. Tonight, as you achieve this synchronization through the power of sacred sound, you're not just healing yourself, you're developing the capacity to become a healing presence in the world. The coherent state you're cultivating will continue to influence your interactions with others long after this session ends. Feel it happening now, as the sound continues to weave its magic through your system. Notice how your breathing has naturally synchronized with your heart rhythm. Notice how your thoughts have become quieter, more peaceful. This is your nervous system finding its natural state of harmony, the state it's designed to maintain when not disrupted by stress and incoherence. The frequency you're receiving contains specific mathematical ratios that mirror the harmonics found throughout nature, the same proportions found in the spiral of galaxies, the structure of flowers, the rhythm of ocean waves. When your heart and brain synchronize to these natural harmonics, you're literally aligning yourself with the fundamental organizing principles of the universe. This alignment creates what I call biological coherence, a state where all your body systems function in perfect harmony with each other and with the larger patterns of nature. In this state, healing happens naturally and effortlessly. Creativity flows freely. Intuition becomes crystal clear. You access capabilities and insights that seemed impossible when your system was fragmented and incoherent. As your heart and brain continue to synchronize, imagine that you're tuning into a cosmic radio station that's been broadcasting all your life, but which you've rarely been able to receive clearly because of the interference patterns created by mental stress and emotional chaos. Now, with your internal receiver finally calibrated properly, you can hear the signal clearly, the signal of your own highest wisdom, your deepest knowing, your most authentic self. This is the state that the great spiritual teachers throughout history learned to cultivate and maintain. It's not a mystical accomplishment available only to special people. It's your natural birthright, the state your nervous system is designed to maintain when given the right conditions. Tonight, you're remembering how to access this state at will, how to return to it whenever life's challenges threaten to pull you back into chaos and fragmentation. The beautiful thing about heart-brain synchronization is that the more you experience it, the easier it becomes to achieve. You're literally rewiring your nervous system, creating new neural pathways that make coherence your default state, rather than an occasional peak experience. Each moment of synchronization strengthens these pathways, making it increasingly natural for your heart and brain to function as the unified system they're meant to be. Feel the profound peace that comes with this unity, this integration of your most powerful organs working in perfect harmony. This is not just a temporary state you're visiting. It's a preview of who you're becoming, how you'll naturally function as you integrate this experience into your daily life. Welcome to the dance of heart and mind, the symphony of your own awakening consciousness. As the coherent synchronization between your heart and brain deepens, I want to guide you into one of the most profound aspects of tonight's transformation, the awakening of your cellular memory, the ancient wisdom that lives within every single cell of your body. You see, my dear friend, each of your 50 trillion cells is not just a simple biological machine. Each cell is a conscious entity, capable of learning, remembering, and responding to its environment with intelligence that rivals the most sophisticated computers ever created. Within the nucleus of each cell lies your complete DNA, not just the genetic instructions for building proteins, but what I've come to understand as a vast library of potential, a cosmic hard drive containing the blueprints for every possibility your human form is capable of expressing. But here's what's truly extraordinary. Your cells don't just contain your individual genetic heritage. They carry within them the memory of your entire evolutionary journey, the wisdom of every ancestor, every adaptation, every moment of triumph and transcendence that led to your existence in this moment. At the deepest level, your cellular memory connects you to the very origins of life itself, to the first spark of consciousness that animated matter billions of years ago. Most of the time, only a tiny fraction of this cellular wisdom is active. The stresses, traumas, and limiting beliefs accumulated throughout your life create what I call cellular static, interference patterns that prevent your cells from accessing their full potential. It's as if you have a magnificent cosmic library within every cell, but most of the books are locked away in sections you can't access. Tonight, something beautiful is happening. The coherent frequency you're receiving is acting like a master key, unlocking sections of your cellular library that may have been closed for years, decades, or even generations. As your heart and brain synchronize in coherence, they send powerful signals throughout your body that tell your cells, it's safe to remember who you really are. It's time to access your full potential. Feel it beginning now, starting perhaps as a subtle tingling or warmth spreading through your body. This is the sensation of cellular awakening, of dormant capacities beginning to stir back to life. Your cells are responding to the coherent signal by activating genes that have been waiting patiently for the right conditions to express themselves. Genes associated with healing, regeneration, enhanced intuition, and expanded consciousness. This process is happening at levels far too subtle for your conscious mind to control or interfere with. Your cells are conducting a vast, intelligent reorganization, based on the new vibrational information they're receiving. They're literally rewriting their own programming to align with the frequency of your highest potential. In your immune cells, ancient healing protocols are being activated. Cellular memories of perfect health that your body has maintained since the day you were born. In your brain cells, new neural connections are forming that will enhance your creativity, intuition, and capacity for insight. In your heart cells, the genetic instructions for unconditional love and compassion are being expressed more fully than perhaps they ever have been in your lifetime. The sacred sound you're receiving carries within it specific frequencies that resonate with what scientists call junk DNA, the 98% of your genetic material that mainstream science hasn't yet understood the purpose of. But this DNA isn't junk at all. It's the dormant potential within you, waiting for the right vibrational keys to unlock its treasures. As these frequencies penetrate your cellular structure, they're activating what I call your divine DNA, the genetic sequences that contain the blueprints for capabilities that seem miraculous from our ordinary perspective. Enhanced healing ability, direct knowing, telepathic sensitivity, the capacity to influence matter through consciousness. All of these potentials exist within your cellular memory, waiting for the coherent conditions that allow them to emerge. This is not science fiction, dear friend. This is the leading edge of epigenetic research, the understanding that your environment, including the vibrational environment created by sound, thought, and emotion, directly influences which genes get activated and which remain dormant. Tonight, you're creating the optimal vibrational environment for the activation of your most beneficial genetic potentials. As your cellular memory awakens, you may begin to experience what seem like remembrances, not of events from this lifetime, but of deeper truths about your nature and purpose. These aren't fantasies or imagination, but genuine remembrances of the wisdom encoded in your very cells. Your DNA carries the memory of your spiritual essence, the truth of who you are beyond all the stories and identities you've accumulated in this lifetime. Some people experience this cellular awakening as a sense of coming home to themselves, of remembering something precious that they had forgotten. Others feel it as a profound sense of connection to all life, a recognition that the same intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair is the same intelligence that moves the stars and changes the seasons. Feel it now, this remembrance arising not from your mind, but from your very cells. Feel your body beginning to remember its divine nature, its capacity for perfect health, its connection to the infinite intelligence that created it. This is not a belief you need to adopt, but a truth your cells are remembering at the molecular level. Your cellular memory contains not just the history of who you've been, but the potential of who you're becoming. Within your DNA lies the template for the fully actualized human being, healthy, wise, compassionate, creative, and deeply connected to the source of all life. Tonight, through the power of coherent sound and your own willingness to receive, you're giving your cells permission to begin expressing this template more fully. This cellular transformation will continue long after tonight's session ends. Your cells will carry this new vibrational information with them as they regenerate and divide. Each new cell that's born in your body will carry this upgraded programming, gradually transforming your entire biological system into a more perfect expression of your true nature. Trust this process completely. Your cells know exactly what to do with the gift you're giving them tonight. They've been waiting for this moment of awakening, this permission to remember and express their full potential. Welcome to the activation of your cellular divinity. As your cellular memory awakens and your entire being vibrates with newfound coherence, I want to guide you into understanding perhaps the most profound aspect of tonight's transformation, how your internal state of harmony is now actively communicating with and reshaping the quantum field of infinite possibility that surrounds and interpenetrates every atom of your existence. You are not separate from the universe, my dear friend. You are not an isolated biological machine operating in empty space. Modern quantum physics has revealed what the ancient mystics always knew. You exist within and as part of an infinite field of conscious energy that connects all things. This field, what physicists call the quantum vacuum or zero-point field, is not empty space, but rather the fullness of all potential the cosmic womb from which all material reality is continuously being born. Right now, in your state of heart-brain coherence and cellular awakening, something extraordinary is happening. Your coherent electromagnetic field is beginning to interact with this larger quantum field in ways that were impossible when your system was fragmented and incoherent. You're no longer just receiving reality as it appears to be. You're beginning to participate consciously in its creation. Think of it this way. When your heart and brain are synchronized and your cells are vibrating in harmony, you become like a radio transmitter broadcasting a clear, powerful signal into the quantum field. This field, which responds to the quality and coherence of the signals it receives, begins to organize reality around the frequency you're broadcasting. You literally become a co-creator with the universe, able to influence the probability patterns that determine which potential realities become manifest. This is not wishful thinking or New Age speculation. This is quantum mechanics applied to human consciousness. Werner Heisenberg, one of the founders of quantum physics, demonstrated that the act of observation, consciousness interacting with quantum systems, actually determines which of many possible realities becomes actual. What we're discovering now is that the quality of consciousness, the degree of coherence in the observer, dramatically influences this reality selection process. In your current state of coherence, you're not just observing reality, you're observing with such clarity, such focused intention, such harmonious vibration that the quantum field has no choice but to respond by organizing itself around your coherent signal. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the beliefs you hold while in this state carry exponentially more creative power than they do when you're operating from fragmentation and incoherence. Feel it now, this sense of expanded influence, of connection to something vast and responsive. Notice how the boundaries between your individual consciousness and the larger field of awareness seem to be dissolving. This is not a loss of self, but rather a discovery of your true self, not as a separate entity struggling against an indifferent universe, but as a conscious participant in the universe's own process of creative expression. The sacred frequency you've been receiving has calibrated your entire being to broadcast on what I call the coherence frequency, the vibrational signature that the quantum field recognizes as a signal for positive creation, healing, and evolution. When you broadcast on this frequency, you automatically begin to attract experiences, people, and opportunities that match your coherent vibration. This is the scientific basis for what people call manifestation or the law of attraction. It's not magic, it's quantum mechanics. When your internal field becomes coherent and aligned with your deepest intentions, you create what physicists call constructive interference patterns in the quantum field around you. These patterns increase the probability that experiences aligned with your intentions will crystallize into manifest reality. But here's what makes tonight's experience so powerful. The changes you're experiencing aren't just happening in your mind or emotions. They're happening at the cellular level, at the level of your electromagnetic field, at the level of your actual vibrational signature. You're not just thinking different thoughts, you're becoming a different person at the quantum level, a person whose very presence in the field creates ripples of positive change. As your coherent field expands and strengthens, it begins to influence not just your own experience, but the experience of everyone and everything in your environment. Coherence is contagious at the quantum level. People around you will begin to feel calmer, more centered, more hopeful in your presence, often without understanding why. You become what I call a coherence catalyst, someone whose very being helps others remember their own capacity for harmony and wholeness. The quantum field is infinitely intelligent and responsive. It's been waiting for you to achieve this state of coherence so it can begin to support your highest good in ways that may seem miraculous from your old perspective. Synchronicities will begin to appear in your life, meaningful coincidences that guide you toward your highest path. Resources, opportunities, and connections will begin to manifest with perfect timing. Solutions to problems will appear as if from nowhere. These aren't rewards for being spiritual or positive. They're the natural result of your coherent field interacting with the responsive intelligence of the quantum field. When you broadcast clarity, you receive clarity. When you broadcast love, you magnetize love. When you broadcast trust in the universe's benevolence, the universe has no choice but to demonstrate that benevolence in your experience. Feel yourself now as a conscious node in the infinite web of quantum connection that unites all existence. Feel your coherent vibration rippling out through this web, carrying information and influence far beyond what your rational mind could imagine possible. Know that every moment you maintain this coherence, you're not just transforming your own life. You're contributing to the healing and awakening of the entire planet. This is your true power, your authentic spiritual authority. Not power over others or over circumstances, but power with the creative forces of the universe itself. You are not separate from these forces. You are their individualized expression, their way of knowing and creating and loving through the unique perspective of your human experience. The quantum field is responding to you right now, reorganizing itself around your coherent signal, preparing to deliver experiences that match your elevated vibration. Trust this process completely. The universe knows how to support your highest good better than your conscious mind ever could. Your job is simply to maintain this coherence, to continue broadcasting this clear signal of your authentic nature and deepest intentions. Welcome to conscious participation in the quantum field of infinite possibility. Welcome to your role as a co-creator of reality itself. As you rest in this expanded awareness of your connection to the quantum field, I want to guide you through perhaps the most liberating aspect of tonight's journey, the gentle but complete release of the old frequency patterns that have been limiting your full expression of health, happiness, and authentic power. See, dear friend, every experience you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt, every belief you've ever held has been encoded into your cellular structure as specific vibrational patterns. These patterns have been broadcasting from your electromagnetic field like radio signals, attracting experiences that match their frequency. Some of these patterns serve you beautifully. They're the frequencies of love, wisdom, creativity, and connection that represent your true nature. But others are like old recordings stuck on repeat, playing the same limited songs over and over again. These are the frequencies of fear, doubt, unworthiness, scarcity, and separation that you picked up along the way, not because they're true, but because you absorbed them from your environment when you were too young, too overwhelmed, or too unaware to recognize that they weren't actually yours to carry. Tonight, in this state of profound coherence and quantum connection, these limiting frequencies are naturally beginning to dissolve. It's not that you need to fight them or push them away. That would only give them more energy. Instead, they're simply becoming incompatible with the coherent frequency you're now embodying. Like ice melting in warm sunlight, these old patterns are gently dissolving back into the formless potential from which they originally crystallized. Feel it happening now, this sense of old tensions releasing from your body, old worries lifting from your mind, old pain dissolving from your heart. You don't need to identify what specifically is being released, and you don't need to relive any past experiences. The intelligence of your coherent field knows exactly what needs to be cleared, and it's doing so with perfect precision and gentleness. This release is happening at the cellular level, where traumatic memories and limiting beliefs are stored as actual biochemical and electromagnetic patterns. As your cells attune to the healing frequency you're receiving, they're naturally releasing these old patterns and replacing them with new ones aligned with your highest potential. Old stress hormones are being metabolized and cleared. Old neural pathways based on fear and limitation are being allowed to fade, while new pathways of possibility are being strengthened. Some people experience this release as a sense of lightness, as if burdens they've carried for years are simply floating away. Others feel it as a warm, dissolving sensation moving through their body. Still others experience it as a deep sigh of relief, a feeling of finally being able to let go of something they've been holding on to for so long, they'd forgotten it was even there. However you experience it, trust that the release is perfect and complete. Your system knows exactly what it's ready to let go of tonight, and it's releasing only what serves your highest good to release. You're not losing any part of yourself that's truly valuable. You're only releasing the false limitations that have been masking your true magnificence. As these old frequencies dissolve, you may become aware of how much energy you've been using to maintain them. Fear, anxiety, resentment, and self-doubt. are incredibly energy-intensive states to maintain. They require constant vigilance, constant protection, constant reinforcement. As you release them, enormous amounts of life force energy become available for healing, creativity, joy, and love. This freed energy is already beginning to circulate through your system, revitalizing organs that have been depleted, awakening capacities that have been dormant, and restoring the natural radiance that is your birthright. You don't need to direct this energy or tell it what to do. It's far more intelligent than your conscious mind, and knows exactly where it's needed most. The beautiful thing about releasing limiting frequencies is that, as they dissolve from your personal field, they also stop attracting matching experiences from the external world. The people, situations, and circumstances that were drawn to your old patterns of fear and limitation will naturally begin to fade from your experience, while new people and opportunities aligned with your coherent frequency will begin to appear. This doesn't mean that everyone in your life who doesn't match your new frequency will suddenly disappear, but you'll find that your relationships begin to shift and deepen as you stop broadcasting the signals that attracted drama, conflict, and dysfunction. People will respond differently to your presence. Some will be inspired to raise their own vibration to match yours. Others may naturally drift away, making space for new connections that truly support your highest good. Feel yourself now like a radio transmitter that's been broadcasting static for years, finally being retuned to broadcast pure, clear music. Feel the relief in your system as it releases the enormous effort required to maintain discordant frequencies. Feel the natural ease and flow that emerges when you're no longer fighting against your own nature. This release is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As you continue to embody higher frequencies of coherence and love, deeper layers of old programming will naturally surface to be cleared. But now, you know how to release them. Not through struggle or analysis, but through maintaining the coherent frequency that makes their continued existence impossible. Some of what's being released tonight may be patterns that have been in your family line for generations, inherited beliefs about limitation, scarcity, or unworthiness that have been passed down through your genetic and energetic lineage. As you release these patterns, you're not just freeing yourself, you're helping to heal your entire family line, past and future. This is the profound gift of conscious evolution. When one person awakens to their true frequency, they create a pathway for others to follow. Your healing becomes a healing available to all. Your freedom becomes a freedom that others can access. Your coherence becomes a beacon of possibility for everyone whose life you touch. Rest now in the spaciousness that comes with this release. Feel how much more room there is within you for love, for joy, for creativity, for connection. Feel how much lighter you are without the weight of old limitations. This is who you truly are. Not the collection of fears and doubts you thought you were, but this luminous, coherent, infinitely capable being of light and love. The old frequency is dissolving. The new frequency is stabilizing. You are becoming who you've always been beneath the layers of limitation. Welcome to your authentic frequency. Welcome to your true self. As you rest in this expansive state of release and renewal, I want to attune your awareness to the profound significance of the sacred sound that's been guiding this transformation. Not just as something you're hearing, but as something you're becoming. Something that's literally reshaping the vibrational essence of who you are. You see, sound is not separate from consciousness. Sound is consciousness made audible. When the first mystics spoke of the word that created all existence, they were describing the primordial vibration from which all matter, all energy, all life crystallized into form. Every atom in your body is the result of this cosmic sound, this divine frequency organizing itself into the magnificent symphony you call your physical existence. The frequency you've been receiving tonight is not random music or arbitrary tones. It's been precisely calibrated based on years of research into what I call biological harmonics. The specific mathematical ratios and frequencies that encourage optimal function in living systems. These are the same proportions found in the spiral of galaxies, the growth patterns of plants, the structure of your DNA, and the electromagnetic patterns of a coherent heart. As this sound moves through your body, It's doing far more than creating pleasant sensations or relaxation. It's literally retuning every cell, every organ, every system to its optimal vibrational frequency. Think of it as receiving a cosmic tuning fork that helps all the instruments of your biological orchestra remember how to play in perfect harmony. Your bones are resonating with these frequencies, remembering their crystalline structure and their role as piezoelectric generators that create small electrical currents when stimulated by vibration. Your organs are in training to rhythms that optimize their function, your liver beginning to detoxify more efficiently, your kidneys filtering with enhanced precision, your lungs exchanging oxygen with greater ease. But the most profound resonance is occurring in your nervous system, where these healing frequencies are encouraging the formation of new neural pathways while dissolving old patterns based on stress and fear. Your brain is literally being rewired by sound, creating new connections that support higher consciousness, enhanced creativity, and deeper states of peace and well-being. Feel it now, this sense of internal orchestration, of all your biological systems beginning to play the same beautiful song. This is what coherence sounds like from the inside. Not just quiet or peaceful, but harmoniously alive, vibrantly integrated, perfectly synchronized with the rhythms of life itself. The ancient healing traditions understood that sound was medicine, perhaps the most powerful medicine available to human beings. They knew that the right frequencies could heal physical ailments, resolve emotional traumas, and even facilitate spiritual awakening. Modern science is finally catching up to this ancient wisdom, discovering that sound waves can stimulate cellular regeneration, enhance immune function, and even influence genetic expression. What makes tonight's experience particularly powerful is that you're receiving these healing frequencies during the optimal state for transformation. When your conscious defenses are relaxed, your subconscious mind is highly receptive, and your cellular intelligence can respond without interference from mental resistance or limiting beliefs. As these sound waves penetrate your tissues, they're creating what physicists call constructive interference patterns, places where multiple waves combine to create amplified effects. In your body, these amplified zones become centers of enhanced healing, increased vitality, and accelerated regeneration. You're literally being tuned up at the molecular level. But the sound you're receiving carries more than just healing frequencies for your physical body. Encoded within these tones are what I call consciousness codes, vibrational patterns that carry information about your highest potential, your deepest purpose, your most authentic expression. As your nervous system resonates with these codes, you're receiving not just healing, but awakening, not just restoration, but revelation. This is why certain sounds move you to tears, while others fill you with joy or peace. Your consciousness recognizes the information encoded in these frequencies and responds accordingly. Tonight, the information you're receiving is the sonic equivalent of your own enlightenment, the sound of who you're becoming, broadcast back to you to help you remember and embody that potential. Feel yourself now not just hearing this sound, but becoming it. Feel your heartbeat beginning to pulse in rhythm with the frequency. Feel your breathing naturally synchronizing with the waves of sound. Feel your very thoughts beginning to organize themselves according to these harmonious patterns. This is the sound of coherence itself, not just your personal coherence, but the coherence that underlies all existence. You're tuning into the frequency of the universe itself, the cosmic hum that maintains the orbits of planets, the rhythm that governs the cycles of seasons, the vibration that keeps galaxies spinning in perfect formation. As you align with this universal frequency, you automatically align with the forces of creation, healing, and evolution. You become a clear channel through which these forces can work in your life and in the world around you. You stop struggling against the current of existence and begin flowing with the tide of cosmic intelligence. The beautiful thing about this sonic attunement is that it continues working long after the external sound stops playing. Your cells retain the vibrational information they've received, continuing to resonate with these healing frequencies, even in silence. Your nervous system maintains the new patterns of coherence that have been established. Your consciousness holds the memory of this expanded state, making it easier to access in the future. You're not just having a temporary experience of coherence, you're learning to become coherence itself. You're discovering that you don't need external sounds to maintain this state. The truest music is the harmony that arises when all aspects of your being are aligned with your deepest nature. This is the sound that was always playing within you, beneath all the noise and distraction of ordinary consciousness. Tonight you're simply remembering how to hear it, how to attune to it, how to let it guide the symphony of your existence. Listen now, not just with your ears, but with every cell of your being. This is the sound of your own awakening, the frequency of your full potential made audible. This is the voice of your highest self, calling you home to who you've always been beneath all the stories and limitations. Welcome to the sound of coherence. Welcome to the music of your own divinity. As you surrender more deeply to the healing harmonies that are restructuring your very being, I want to guide you into understanding why this nocturnal journey is so much more powerful than any transformation work you might do during your waking hours. Why the darkness, the quiet, the liminal space between consciousness and sleep creates the perfect laboratory for reprogramming the deepest patterns of your existence. During your normal waking hours, your conscious mind processes approximately 2,000 bits of information per second, but your subconscious mind is processing 400 billion bits per second. Your conscious awareness, powerful as it seems, is like a single candle flame compared to the blazing sun of your subconscious intelligence. Most transformation work fails because it tries to change deep patterns using only the tiny processing power of the conscious mind, while the vast subconscious continues running the old programs automatically. But at night, something magical happens. As your conscious mind naturally quiets and your brain waves slow into the alpha, theta, and delta frequencies of sleep, the protective barriers that usually guard your subconscious programming begin to dissolve. The critical faculty that normally filters new information through existing beliefs steps aside. The analytical mind that insists, "This won't work for me," or "I've tried this before," falls silent. In this state of receptive openness, your subconscious mind becomes what I call a quantum sponge, capable of absorbing new information and immediately beginning to restructure your entire reality around these new patterns. The frequencies you're receiving tonight aren't just creating temporary changes in how you feel. They're literally rewriting the basic operating system that governs how you experience life. Think of your subconscious mind as the master programmer of your personal reality. Every belief you hold, every emotional pattern you repeat, every physical limitation you experience exists because it's been programmed into this vast biological computer. During your waking hours, this computer is running thousands of programs simultaneously, maintaining your heartbeat, regulating your breathing, processing sensory information, maintaining your balance, and countless other functions. But at night, many of these programs shift into automatic mode, freeing up enormous processing power for what we might call system maintenance and upgrades. This is when your deepest healing occurs, when traumatic memories are processed and integrated, when new learning is consolidated into long-term memory, and when your brain literally cleans itself of the metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. Tonight, as you hover in this sacred threshold between waking and sleeping, you're giving your subconscious programmer access to new software, vibrational information that carries the codes for optimal health, emotional balance, creative expression, and spiritual connection. Unlike conscious affirmations or visualizations that must compete with existing beliefs, this sonic programming bypasses the mental filters entirely and goes directly to the source code of your reality. The beauty of nocturnal reprogramming is that it works with your body's natural rhythms rather than against them. Your brain is already designed to be maximally receptive during sleep states. Your nervous system is already programmed to shift into healing and regeneration mode during darkness. The hormonal cascades that facilitate growth, repair, and integration are already flowing through your system. By introducing coherent frequencies during this optimal window, you're not forcing change to happen. You're simply providing the highest quality information to a system that's already primed for transformation. It's like feeding premium fuel to a high-performance engine that's been running on low-grade gasoline for years. As the sacred sound continues to permeate your being, feel how naturally your system is accepting this new programming. There's no resistance, no inner conflict, No voice saying this is impossible. Your subconscious mind recognizes these frequencies as beneficial and immediately begins implementing them at every level of your existence. Your cellular memory is being upgraded with new instructions for optimal function. Your neural networks are forming new pathways that support higher consciousness and expanded awareness. Your endocrine system is recalibrating to produce the hormonal signatures of health, happiness, and vitality. Your immune system is learning new protocols for protection and healing. But perhaps most importantly, your core beliefs about what's possible for your life are being gently and permanently restructured. Old programs of limitation, scarcity, unworthiness, and separation are being overwritten with new programs of abundance, capability, deserving, and connection. These aren't just positive thoughts you're trying to think. They're becoming the fundamental assumptions that your subconscious uses to create your experience of reality. This reprogramming happens in layers, like sedimentary deposits in the geology of consciousness. Tonight, the deepest, most fundamental layer is being transformed, the layer that governs your sense of safety in the world, your trust in life's benevolence, your knowing of your own intrinsic worth and capability. As this foundation shifts, everything built upon it naturally reorganizes into greater alignment with your true potential. You may not notice all these changes immediately upon waking. Subconscious reprogramming often works like the growth of a tree, invisible at first, but eventually producing unmistakable evidence of transformation in your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and experiences. Over the coming days and weeks, you may find yourself naturally making healthier choices, attracting more positive people and situations, responding to challenges with greater wisdom and equanimity. The programs being installed tonight are designed to run automatically, requiring no conscious effort to maintain. They're becoming part of your basic operating system, as natural and effortless as breathing or circulation. You're not just having a beautiful experience, you're becoming a different person at the most fundamental level. Feel the profound peace that comes with knowing that this transformation is happening without any effort on your part. Your job is simply to rest, to receive, to allow the intelligent forces of healing and evolution to do their perfect work. Your subconscious mind knows exactly how to integrate this new information for your highest good. This is the gift of nocturnal reprogramming, transformation that happens in the dark, in the quiet, in the sacred space where your deepest wisdom can finally be heard and implemented without interference. Tonight, you're not just sleeping, you're being reborn at the level of consciousness itself. Trust the process completely. Your subconscious programmer is infinitely wise and will implement only those changes that serve your highest evolution. By morning, you will be subtly but permanently different, more aligned, more coherent, more authentically yourself than you've ever been before. Welcome to the laboratory of consciousness. Welcome to your nocturnal renaissance. As you rest in this state of profound receptivity, your subconscious mind seamlessly integrating these transformational frequencies, I want to draw your awareness to one of the most remarkable discoveries of modern science, the extraordinary electromagnetic field generated by your heart, and how tonight's journey is amplifying this field into a powerful beacon of coherence and healing. Your heart is not just a muscular pump, nor is it merely an emotional center as poets have long suggested. Your heart is actually the most powerful electromagnetic generator in your body, creating an electrical field approximately 60 times greater in amplitude than the field generated by your brain, and a magnetic field more than 5,000 times stronger than your brain's magnetic field. This electromagnetic field extends far beyond the boundaries of your physical body. Using sensitive magnetometers, scientists have measured the heart's magnetic field at distances of 8 to 10 feet from the body. This means that wherever you go, you're carrying with you an invisible sphere of electromagnetic influence that affects everyone and everything within that space. But here's what makes tonight's experience so extraordinary. As your heart achieves coherence through the sacred frequencies you're receiving, this electromagnetic field becomes dramatically more organized, more powerful, and more capable of positive influence. Instead of broadcasting the chaotic signals of stress, anxiety, and emotional turbulence, your heart is now transmitting the coherent patterns of peace, love, and expanded consciousness. Think of your heart's electromagnetic field as your personal broadcasting station, constantly sending out signals that inform the quantum field about your internal state. When your heart is incoherent, when you're stressed, fearful, or emotionally fragmented, it broadcasts static interference patterns that attract more chaos and discord into your experience. But when your heart achieves the coherent state you're experiencing now, it broadcasts what I call a carrier wave of pure potential, a clear, powerful signal that the quantum field recognizes as a request for harmony, healing, and positive manifestation. This coherent broadcast literally reorganizes the probability patterns around you, making beneficial outcomes more likely and unwanted experiences less probable. As you continue to listen to these healing frequencies, feel your heart not just as an organ in your chest, but as the command center of your electromagnetic being. Feel it pulsing with coherent rhythm, sending out waves of organized energy that extend far beyond your physical boundaries. With each heartbeat, you're broadcasting a signal of wholeness and awakening that touches everyone within your field. Your heart's electromagnetic patterns are being recorded by the nervous systems of people around you, even when you're not consciously interacting with them. When your heart is coherent, it literally entrains other people's nervous systems toward greater coherence. You become what researchers call a physiological influencer, someone whose very presence helps others access more balanced and harmonious states. This is the scientific basis for what people intuitively recognize as presence or good vibes. When you're around someone whose heart is consistently coherent, you feel more relaxed, more centered, more optimistic, often without understanding why. Tonight, as your heart achieves unprecedented levels of coherence, you're developing this quality of beneficial presence that will continue to positively influence others long after this session ends. But the influence of your coherent heart field extends beyond just people. Research has shown that coherent heart rhythms can positively affect animals, plants, and even electronic equipment. Your coherent electromagnetic field becomes a harmonizing influence in your entire environment, contributing to what some scientists call global coherence. The idea that when enough individuals achieve heart coherence, it can influence the electromagnetic patterns of the Earth itself. As your heart continues to resonate with these sacred frequencies, imagine that you're not just healing your own system, but contributing to the healing of the collective field of human consciousness. Every moment of coherence you embody adds to the accumulated coherence available to all humanity. You're not just transforming personally, you're participating in the transformation of our entire species. The electromagnetic patterns your heart is generating right now are also being recorded by your own nervous system, creating new neural pathways that make this coherent state easier to access in the future. Your brain is literally learning from your heart how to maintain patterns of harmony and peace. This heart-brain communication creates what researchers call cardiac intelligence, a form of wisdom that transcends purely mental reasoning. Feel it now, this sense of your heart as a wise teacher, educating your brain about the nature of love, compassion, and authentic power. Your heart doesn't think in the linear, analytical way your brain thinks. It processes information holistically, intuitively, recognizing patterns and connections that escape purely mental analysis. As your heart's electromagnetic field becomes more coherent and powerful, it also becomes more sensitive to the subtle information fields that surround you. You may begin to notice that you're more intuitively aware of other people's emotional states, more sensitive to the energy of different environments, more able to sense opportunities and possibilities before they become obvious to your rational mind. This heightened sensitivity is not a distraction or burden. It's actually a sign that your heart is returning to its natural function as your primary guidance system. Indigenous peoples and ancient wisdom traditions always recognized the heart as the seat of true intelligence, the organ that could perceive truth directly without needing the slow process of mental analysis. Tonight, as these sacred frequencies continue to amplify your heart's electromagnetic field, you're reclaiming this ancient capacity for direct knowing. You're developing what I call electromagnetic intuition, the ability to read the energy patterns around you and respond from a place of deep wisdom rather than surface appearances. Your heart's field is also communicating with the electromagnetic fields of the Earth and cosmos. The Schumann resonances, the natural frequency patterns generated by electromagnetic activity in the Earth's atmosphere, are being influenced by and influencing your own electromagnetic signature. As your heart achieves deeper coherence, you naturally attune to these planetary rhythms, creating a sense of groundedness and connection to the larger web of life. Feel yourself now as a radiant being of electromagnetic energy, your heart pulsing with coherent power that extends far beyond your physical form. Feel the influence of your presence rippling out through the quantum field, touching lives in ways you may never consciously know, but which contribute to the healing and awakening of all consciousness. This is your true nature, not just a physical body with a beating heart, but a luminous field of organized energy, a walking blessing, a living transmission of coherence and love. Tonight, you're remembering how to embody this electromagnetic mastery, consciously and purposefully. Welcome to the full power of your coherent heart. Welcome to your role as an electromagnetic healer in the world. Now, my dear friend, as your heart's electromagnetic field radiates with unprecedented coherence, and your entire being resonates with healing frequencies, I want to guide you on a sacred inner journey, a visualization that will deepen and anchor this transformational state, while opening you to direct experience of the unity consciousness that is your true nature. Begin by bringing your attention to your breath, noticing how naturally and effortlessly it flows in and out of your body. With each inhalation, imagine that you're breathing in pure, luminous energy, the same intelligent force that moves the stars and grows the flowers. With each exhalation, feel yourself releasing any remaining tension, any last vestiges of separation or limitation. Now, place your awareness gently in the center of your chest, in the area of your heart. Imagine that within your heart space exists a beautiful chamber of light, your own personal sanctuary, a sacred space that has always been perfectly pure, perfectly peaceful, perfectly connected to the source of all life. This is your heart's inner temple, the dwelling place of your highest wisdom and deepest love. As you rest in this luminous heart space, begin to notice a soft golden light beginning to pulse gently in rhythm with your heartbeat. This is not an imaginary light, but the actual electromagnetic radiance of your coherent heart, made visible to your inner perception. Watch as this light grows brighter and more radiant with each beat, expanding beyond the boundaries of your physical heart to fill your entire chest cavity. Feel the warmth of this golden light dissolving any areas of tension or constriction in your body. See it flowing down through your torso, into your abdomen, dissolving old knots of fear or anxiety. Watch it flow up through your throat, clearing any blocks to authentic expression. Feel it rising into your head, illuminating your mind with the clear light of intuitive knowing. Now, imagine this coherent light beginning to extend beyond the boundaries of your physical body, creating a luminous field that surrounds you completely. See yourself resting in the center of a beautiful sphere of golden, coherent energy that extends about 8 feet in all directions. This is your heart's electromagnetic field made visible, your personal space of healing influence. As you rest in this field of coherent light, begin to sense that you're not alone in this luminous space. Feel the presence of your highest self, the aspect of your consciousness that has never been touched by fear, doubt, or limitation. This is not separate from you, but rather the fullest expression of who you truly are, beneath all the stories and identities you've accumulated. Your highest self appears to you now as a being of pure light and love, radiating the same golden coherence that fills your energy field. Look into the eyes of this luminous being and recognize yourself, not as you've believed yourself to be, but as you truly are, unlimited, eternal, connected to the infinite source of all creation. Allow your highest self to communicate with you now, not through words, but through direct transmission of knowing. Feel the love, wisdom, and infinite capability that flows from this luminous being into every cell of your body. This is not information you need to understand mentally. It's recognition you need to receive cellularly, allowing your entire biological system to remember its divine nature. As this recognition deepens, begin to notice that the golden light surrounding you is not isolated or separate. See streams of the same luminous energy connecting you to every living being on Earth. See threads of light extending from your heart to the hearts of your loved ones, carrying healing and blessing across any distance. See broader waves of coherent energy connecting you to all of humanity, all of life, all of existence. You are not a separate being having a spiritual experience. You are the universe itself, temporarily organized into the beautiful, unique pattern you call your individual life. Feel this truth not as a concept, but as a lived reality. The boundaries between self and cosmos dissolving into the recognition of fundamental unity. From this place of recognized unity, send waves of coherent love and healing to any areas of your life that need transformation. See your relationships bathed in this golden light, healed of any discord or misunderstanding. See your work and creative expression illuminated by this coherence, aligned with your deepest purpose. See your physical body radiant with perfect health and vitality. Now extend this healing intention beyond your personal life. Send waves of coherent energy to your community, blessing all who live near you with greater harmony and well-being. Extend it to your country, to the earth itself, to all beings everywhere who are suffering or struggling. Feel yourself as a conscious participant in the healing of the world, your personal coherence contributing to the awakening of all consciousness. As you rest in this state of universal love and connection, begin to feel how natural this is, how much this unified awareness feels like coming home to yourself. This is not an altered state you're visiting. This is your true state, temporarily obscured by the activities and distractions of ordinary consciousness, but always available when you remember how to access it. Feel the profound peace that comes with knowing you are never truly alone, never truly separate from the love and intelligence that created you. Feel the deep security that comes with recognizing your fundamental connection to the infinite source of all life. Feel the joy that arises when you remember that your very existence is a gift to the universe, your unique way of experiencing, expressing, and celebrating the divine. Now begin to feel this coherent state anchoring itself in your cellular memory, in your neural pathways, in the very structure of your being. You're not just visiting this consciousness, you're claiming it as your natural state, your default way of being in the world. With each breath, feel this recognition becoming more stable, more permanent, more easily accessible. As you prepare to gradually return to ordinary awareness, carry with you the knowing that this journey was not fantasy or imagination, but a direct experience of your true nature. The coherence you've achieved, the connections you've felt, the healing you've received, all of this is real and will continue to unfold in your life in perfect timing. You are coherence embodied. You are love made manifest. You are the universe awakening to itself through the beautiful instrument of your human experience. Rest now in this knowing, allowing it to integrate into every aspect of your being. As you rest in this profound state of coherent unity, I want to reveal to you how tonight's journey is creating actual, measurable changes in your biology, how the beliefs and consciousness you're embodying right now are literally rewriting your genetic expression and transforming your physical body at the cellular level. For decades, we were taught that genes control biology, that DNA is destiny, that we are prisoners of our genetic inheritance. But my research, along with the groundbreaking work of countless epigenetic scientists, has revealed a far more empowering truth. It's not your genes that control your biology, but your perceptions, beliefs, and consciousness that control which genes get activated and which remain dormant. Right now, as you embody this state of coherent love and unity consciousness, you're creating a cellular environment that activates what I call your mastery genes, genetic sequences that promote optimal health, enhanced creativity, emotional resilience, and expanded awareness. These genes have always been present in your DNA, but they require the right vibrational environment to express themselves fully. The coherent electromagnetic field generated by your heart in this state is acting like a cellular broadcast system, sending signals to every one of your 50 trillion cells that say, it's safe to heal, it's safe to thrive, it's safe to express your highest potential. Your cells, which are constantly listening to these electromagnetic signals, respond by shifting their behavior from survival mode to growth mode. In survival mode, which is how most people's cells operate most of the time due to chronic stress and limiting beliefs, your cells focus primarily on protection and defense. They close down their growth mechanisms, reduce their energy production, and limit their communication with other cells. Over time, this survival-focused cellular behavior leads to aging, disease, and the gradual deterioration of optimal function. But in growth mode, which your cells are entering right now as they receive the coherent signals from your transformed consciousness, everything changes. Your cells open their growth mechanisms, increase their energy production, enhance their communication networks, and begin expressing the genetic programs associated with regeneration, vitality, and peak performance. The beliefs you're embodying tonight, beliefs in your inherent wholeness, your unlimited potential, your connection to infinite love and intelligence, are not just positive thoughts floating in your mind. They're actually biochemical instructions being transmitted to your cells through the electromagnetic field of your coherent heart, and the neurochemical cascades triggered by your elevated emotional states. When you truly believe, at the cellular level, that you are worthy of perfect health, your immune system responds by becoming more efficient and effective. When you embody the knowing that you are infinitely creative and capable, your brain begins producing the neurotransmitters and forming the neural connections associated with enhanced cognitive function and creative expression. As you feel the love and unity that is your true nature, your body begins producing elevated levels of oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, the biochemicals of joy, bonding, and bliss. These molecules don't just make you feel good, they actually signal your genes to express patterns associated with longevity, disease resistance, and optimal functioning. The sacred frequency you've been receiving amplifies all of these positive cellular responses. Sound waves, particularly coherent frequencies like those you've experienced tonight, have been shown to stimulate the production of growth hormone, enhance immune function, reduce inflammation, and even influence the expression of genes associated with cellular repair and regeneration. But perhaps most remarkably, the transformation you're experiencing is not limited to your own biology. The coherent field you're generating is actually influencing the genetic expression of any cells that come into contact with your electromagnetic field. This includes not just your own cells, but potentially the cells of other people, animals, and even plants within your sphere of influence. This is the biological basis for what mystics have called morphic resonance, or the 100th monkey effect. The idea that when one individual achieves a new level of consciousness or capability, it becomes more easily accessible to others. Your coherent state is not just healing you, it's contributing to the healing potential available to all life. Feel it now, this sense of your biology actively responding to your elevated consciousness. Notice any sensations of warmth, tingling, or energy moving through your body. These are signs of your cellular regeneration systems activating, your genetic repair mechanisms engaging, your body's natural healing intelligence coming online in ways it may not have for years or even decades. Your nervous system is being rewired to support this new level of consciousness. New neural pathways are forming that make states of coherence, love, and expanded awareness more easily accessible. Old patterns based on fear, limitation, and separation are being pruned away as your brain reorganizes itself around the frequency of your highest potential. Your endocrine system is recalibrating to produce the hormonal signatures of someone living in alignment with their deepest truth. Your digestive system is optimizing to better absorb the nutrients needed to support your expanded state of being. Your cardiovascular system is becoming more efficient as your heart operates from coherence rather than stress. Even your aging process is being influenced by tonight's transformation. The telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that shorten with age and stress, can actually be lengthened through sustained states of coherence and positive emotion. You're not just feeling younger, you may literally be becoming younger at the cellular level. This biological transformation will continue long after tonight's session ends. The new genetic expression patterns that have been activated will continue to influence your cellular function for days, weeks, and potentially months to come. Each time you return to this coherent state, you reinforce these positive biological changes and potentially activate even deeper levels of genetic potential. The beliefs you embody become the biology you experience. The consciousness you cultivate becomes the cellular reality you inhabit. Tonight, you've proven to yourself at the most fundamental level that you are not a victim of your genetics, but the master of your biological destiny. This is the new biology in action. The understanding that consciousness creates biology, that belief becomes biochemistry, that love literally heals at the level of DNA. You are not just having a spiritual experience. You are demonstrating the ultimate marriage of spirit and science, consciousness and biology, belief and cellular reality. Welcome to your role as a conscious genetic engineer, actively participating in your own biological evolution through the power of coherent consciousness and unconditional love. As you rest in this profound recognition of your power to consciously direct your own biological evolution, I want to guide you through the essential process of integration and embodiment, ensuring that the transformations you've experienced tonight become permanent features of your daily reality, rather than temporary peak experiences that fade with time. Integration is the art of weaving your expanded awareness into the fabric of your ordinary consciousness, allowing the insights, healings, and new capacities you've accessed to become natural parts of how you move through the world. Without conscious integration, even the most profound spiritual experiences can remain isolated events that have little lasting impact on your actual life circumstances. The beautiful thing about tonight's journey is that much of the integration has already begun happening automatically at the cellular and neurological level. The new neural pathways that have formed, the genetic expressions that have been activated, the electromagnetic patterns that have been established, these changes are already being encoded into your biological memory, creating a more stable foundation for your expanded consciousness. But to fully embody these transformations, your conscious mind needs to participate in the integration process. You need to begin thinking, feeling, and acting from this new level of coherence, gradually training your everyday awareness to align with the expanded state you've accessed tonight. Over the next several days and weeks, you may notice that you respond to challenging situations with greater calm and wisdom than before. When you encounter stress or conflict, instead of automatically falling into old patterns of reactivity, you may find yourself naturally accessing the coherent state you've cultivated tonight. This is not something you need to force or effort. It's the natural result of your nervous system having been rewired to support higher levels of consciousness. You may also notice that your relationships begin to shift in subtle but significant ways. People will respond differently to your presence because you're radiating a different electromagnetic signature. Some may be drawn to the sense of peace and coherence you embody. Others may feel inspired to examine their own patterns and move toward greater authenticity. Still, others may initially feel uncomfortable with your transformation because it challenges their own limitations. All of these responses are natural and temporary. As you stabilize in your new coherent state, you'll naturally attract people and circumstances that match your elevated vibration, while experiences that no longer serve your highest good will gently fade from your reality. This is not a loss, but a refinement, a natural evolution toward greater alignment with your authentic nature. To support this integration process, I encourage you to create simple daily practices that help you reconnect with the coherent state you've accessed tonight. This might be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning to place your hand on your heart and breathe in the memory of tonight's transformation, or perhaps taking evening walks where you consciously expand your awareness to include the electromagnetic field around your body. The key is not to make these practices complicated or time-consuming, but to weave them naturally into your existing daily rhythm. The goal is to create regular opportunities for your nervous system to remember and return to the coherent patterns you've established tonight. You might also notice that certain foods, environments, or activities that once felt normal now feel discordant or draining. This is your expanded sensitivity at work. Your system has been calibrated to recognize and seek coherence, and it will naturally guide you away from influences that create incoherence. Trust these subtle guidance signals rather than overriding them with mental reasoning. Some people experience what I call integration symptoms, as their old patterns dissolve and new ones stabilize. You might feel emotionally sensitive for a few days, or experience vivid dreams as your subconscious processes the new information. You might have moments of profound clarity alternating with periods of confusion as your identity reorganizes around your expanded sense of self. All of these experiences are signs of healthy integration, evidence that deep transformation is occurring. The key is to move through this integration period with gentleness and patience, allowing the changes to unfold in their own natural timing, rather than forcing or controlling the process. As you integrate tonight's transformation, you're also integrating the recognition of your true nature as a coherent being of consciousness, temporarily expressing itself through physical form. This means that your sense of identity itself may begin to shift from, "I am a limited human, having occasional spiritual experiences," to, "I am unlimited consciousness expressing itself through this beautiful human experience." This shift in identity is perhaps the most important aspect of integration, because it determines how you interpret and respond to every experience in your life. When you know yourself as consciousness itself, you naturally approach challenges as opportunities for growth, relationships as opportunities for love, and daily activities as opportunities for service and creative expression. The coherent state you've accessed tonight is not separate from your ordinary consciousness. It is your ordinary consciousness freed from the limitations and distortions that usually obscure it. As you integrate this recognition, you'll discover that you don't need to get into a spiritual state or work on yourself to access your true nature. You simply need to stop doing the things that create incoherence and allow your natural state of coherent awareness to shine through. This might mean simplifying your life in various ways, reducing commitments that drain your energy, spending more time in nature, choosing foods that support your body's optimal function, surrounding yourself with people who support your highest expression. These aren't sacrifices, but natural preferences that arise when you're living from coherence rather than surviving from stress. Remember that integration is not a destination, but an ongoing process. Each day offers new opportunities to embody your expanded awareness more fully, to bring the love and wisdom you've accessed tonight into every interaction, every decision, every moment of your experience. You don't need to be perfect in this embodiment process. The goal is not to maintain the peak state you've experienced tonight at all times, but to establish it as your new baseline, the natural state you return to when you're not actively creating incoherence through stress, fear, or limiting beliefs. Trust that the intelligence that guided tonight's transformation will continue to guide your integration process. Your body knows how to stabilize these new patterns. Your heart knows how to maintain coherence. Your consciousness knows how to embody its own expanded nature. You are not the same person who began this journey tonight. You have been biologically, neurologically, and energetically transformed. Now comes the beautiful adventure of discovering what it means to live from this new foundation of coherent consciousness. Welcome to your integrated, embodied, authentic self. Welcome to the beginning of your life as a consciously coherent human being. As you continue to integrate this profound transformation, I want to expand your awareness to encompass the magnificent ripple effect that your personal coherence creates in the world around you. How your individual awakening becomes a gift to all of humanity and contributes to the collective evolution of consciousness on our planet. You see, my dear friend, you are not an isolated individual existing in empty space. You are a conscious node in the infinite web of interconnection that links all life, all consciousness, all existence. When you achieve the coherent state you've experienced tonight, you don't just transform your personal reality, you literally uplift the vibrational frequency of the entire field of collective human consciousness. Think of consciousness as an ocean and individual minds as waves on that ocean. When one wave becomes more coherent, more organized, more aligned with the deeper currents of love and wisdom, it influences all the other waves around it. Your coherence creates what physicists call constructive interference patterns in the field of collective consciousness, amplifying the potential for coherence in every other human being. This is not metaphorical poetry. This is measurable science. Research conducted by organizations like the Institute of Heart Math has demonstrated that when groups of people achieve heart-brain coherence simultaneously, it creates detectable changes in the electromagnetic field of the Earth itself. Your personal transformation is literally contributing to the transformation of planetary consciousness. Right now, as you embody this state of expanded awareness and unconditional love, You're broadcasting a signal of possibility into the collective field. Every person whose life you touch, whether through direct interaction or simply through your presence in their energetic vicinity, receives some transmission of the coherence you've cultivated. They may not consciously understand what they're receiving, but some part of their being recognizes it as a reminder of their own potential for wholeness and awakening. Children are especially sensitive to these coherent transmissions. When you're around young people while embodying this expanded state, you're literally helping to activate dormant potentials in their developing nervous systems. You become what I call a coherence catalyst for the next generation, helping them remember capacities and awareness that might otherwise remain hidden for years or decades. Your family members, friends, and colleagues will all be influenced by the electromagnetic field of coherence you now carry. Some may comment that there's something different about you, that you seem more peaceful, more present, more genuinely loving. Others may simply find themselves feeling better in your presence without understanding why. Still, others may feel inspired to examine their own lives and begin seeking their own path to greater authenticity and coherence. This influence extends beyond just human beings. Animals are extremely sensitive to coherent electromagnetic fields and will often be drawn to people who embody these states. Plants in your environment may grow more vibrantly. Even the electronic devices and mechanical systems around you may function more harmoniously when exposed to your coherent field. But the ripple effect goes deeper than just energetic influence. As you embody greater coherence in your daily life, you naturally begin making choices and taking actions that serve not just your individual well-being, but the well-being of the larger whole. You become naturally generous, naturally compassionate, naturally wise in ways that contribute to the healing of whatever communities and systems you're part of. Your work becomes more aligned with your authentic purpose, and through that alignment, you contribute more meaningfully to the world. Your relationships become more genuine and loving, creating networks of connection that support the growth and healing of everyone involved. Your very presence becomes a source of inspiration and possibility for others who are still struggling to remember their own potential. This is what I call coherent service. Service that arises not from obligation or guilt, but from the natural overflow of your aligned consciousness. When you're living from coherence, serving others doesn't drain your energy. It actually amplifies it because you're operating in harmony with the fundamental impulse of consciousness to know itself and express itself through love. Over time, as more and more individuals achieve and maintain coherent states, we reach what scientists call critical mass, the point where a new pattern becomes self-sustaining and begins to spread exponentially throughout the system. Your personal transformation is helping to build toward this critical mass of coherent consciousness on Earth. We're living in a time when this collective transformation is not just possible, but necessary for the survival and thriving of our species. The challenges facing humanity, environmental crisis, social inequality, technological disruption, spiritual disconnection, cannot be solved from the same level of consciousness that created them. They require the kind of coherent, expanded awareness that you've accessed tonight. By choosing to heal yourself, to evolve your consciousness, to embody your highest potential, you're not being selfish or self-indulgent. You're performing one of the most generous acts possible. You're becoming part of the solution to humanity's deepest challenges. You're contributing to the field of coherent consciousness that will eventually reach critical mass and help facilitate a collective awakening that transforms how our species lives on this planet. Feel the profound responsibility and opportunity of this moment. Feel how your personal healing ripples out to heal relationships, communities, and ultimately the world itself. Feel how your individual awakening contributes to the awakening of all consciousness. Feel how your embodiment of love adds to the total amount of love available in the universe. This understanding transforms everything about how you approach your life. You're no longer just trying to solve personal problems or achieve individual goals. You're participating consciously in the evolution of consciousness itself. Every choice you make from coherence, every action you take from love, every moment you spend in alignment with your authentic nature contributes to the greatest project in human history, the transformation of our species from a collection of separate, struggling individuals into a coherent, awakened, globally connected community of conscious beings. Your life matters in ways you may never fully understand. Your transformation tonight has sent ripples through the fabric of reality that will continue expanding long after you've forgotten this particular experience. Someone, somewhere, will make a different choice because of the coherence you've added to the collective field. Someone will remember their own capacity for love because of the love you've embodied. Someone will find the courage to heal because of the healing you've chosen for yourself. This is the ultimate meaning of your existence, not just to experience life as an individual, but to be life's way of knowing and healing and evolving itself. You are the universe becoming conscious of its own infinite potential through the beautiful, unique instrument of your human awareness. As you move forward from tonight's transformation, carry with you this sense of sacred purpose. Remember that every moment of coherence you maintain, every act of love you express, every choice you make from wisdom rather than fear contributes to the healing of our world and the awakening of our species. You are not just healing yourself, you are healing the world through yourself. You are not just awakening individually, you are participating in the collective awakening of humanity. You are not just transforming your personal reality, you are helping to birth a new reality for all beings. The ripples of tonight's transformation will continue expanding through the web of consciousness long after your physical body returns to dust. The coherence you've embodied becomes part of the eternal field of possibility available to all future generations. This is your true legacy, your lasting contribution to the cosmic evolution of consciousness itself. Feel the profound gratitude of the universe for your willingness to awaken, to heal, to transform. Feel the appreciation of all beings for your contribution to the coherent field that makes their own awakening more possible. Feel the love of existence itself, celebrating your return to the truth of who you really are. Welcome to your role as a conscious agent of planetary healing. Welcome to your participation in the greatest transformation in human history. Welcome to the ripple effect of your own awakened consciousness. As you feel the magnificent ripples of your transformation extending out into the world, touching countless lives in ways both seen and unseen, I want to guide you into the deepest and most liberating aspect of tonight's journey, the profound peace that comes with complete surrender and absolute trust in the intelligent forces that are orchestrating your evolution. You have experienced tonight what it means to align with the fundamental creative power of the universe itself. You have felt your individual consciousness merge with the infinite field of possibility from which all manifestation emerges. You have recognized yourself not as a separate being struggling against an indifferent cosmos, but as the cosmos itself, temporarily organized into the beautiful pattern you call your human life. This recognition brings with it a profound shift in how you relate to the process of your own becoming. You no longer need to force, control, or manipulate your experience to align with your desires. You no longer need to anxiety about whether you're doing enough, being enough, or evolving fast enough. You can finally rest in the deepest trust, the trust that the same intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair, that moves the planets and evolves the galaxies, is also guiding your personal transformation with perfect wisdom and timing. Surrender is not giving up or becoming passive. True surrender is recognizing that there are forces at work in your life that are far more intelligent and capable than your conscious mind could ever be. It's the recognition that when you align with these forces rather than fighting against them, your life unfolds with a grace and synchronicity that seems miraculous from your old perspective. The frequency you've received tonight has attuned you to these guiding forces. You've learned to recognize the subtle signals, the impulses, intuitions, and synchronicities through which the universe communicates its guidance to you. As you move forward from this experience, you can trust these signals completely, knowing that they arise from the same coherent intelligence that orchestrated tonight's profound transformation. Surrender means trusting that you don't need to understand everything intellectually in order to benefit from it. The healing you've received, the new neural pathways that have formed, the genetic expressions that have been activated, These transformations are far too complex for your conscious mind to comprehend fully. But your body's wisdom, your cellular intelligence, your subconscious mind knows exactly how to integrate and utilize these gifts for your highest good. Feel it now, this profound relief that comes with releasing the exhausting burden of trying to control your spiritual evolution. Feel the deep peace that arises when you stop pushing and start flowing, when you stop forcing and start allowing, when you stop efforting and start trusting. This is not laziness or resignation. This is the most advanced spiritual practice possible. The recognition that you are being lived by life itself. Trust means knowing that every experience in your life, even the challenging ones, serves your awakening in some way. From the perspective of coherent consciousness, there are no accidents, no mistakes, no meaningless suffering. Everything is either a gift or a teaching, either a blessing or an opportunity for growth. This doesn't mean you become passive in the face of injustice or stop working to improve conditions in your life and world. It means you approach all circumstances from a place of curiosity and openness, rather than resistance and victimhood. The sacred sound you've received continues to work within your system even now, creating ongoing transformations that will unfold over days, weeks, and months to come. You don't need to monitor this process or try to accelerate it through mental effort. You can trust completely that the intelligence within this frequency knows exactly how to optimize your biological and spiritual evolution. Some of the most profound transformations happen in the quiet moments between dramatic experiences, in the gentle integration periods when your system is processing and embodying new patterns. Trust these quieter phases as much as the peak experiences. Trust the times when you don't feel spiritual or awakened as much as the times when you feel expanded and transcendent. Your evolution is continuous and perfect, even when it doesn't match your expectations or timeline. Surrender also means releasing attachment to specific outcomes while maintaining clear intention. You can hold a vision of your highest potential while remaining completely open to how that potential might manifest. The universe often has far more creative and beautiful ways of fulfilling your deepest desires than your conscious mind could imagine. Your job is to stay aligned with your truth and let the details unfold in their own perfect timing. As you embody this profound trust, you become an example of what it looks like to live in partnership with the creative forces of existence. Others will sense the peace and confidence that comes from your alignment with these deeper currents. They'll see how your life flows with increasing synchronicity and grace, and they'll be inspired to explore their own capacity for surrender and trust. This trust extends to the process of planetary and collective evolution as well. Just as you can trust the intelligence guiding your personal transformation, you can trust that humanity as a whole is being guided through our current challenges toward greater coherence and awakening. Your individual surrender contributes to the collective capacity for trust, helping our species learn to work with, rather than against, the evolutionary forces that are seeking to birth a more conscious world. Feel yourself now completely held by the infinite love and intelligence that created you. Feel how supported you are, how guided you are, how absolutely safe you are to be exactly who you are in this moment. Feel the profound freedom that comes with knowing you don't have to earn this support or prove yourself worthy of this guidance. It's your birthright as a conscious expression of the universe itself. The transformation you've experienced tonight is not the end of your journey, but a new beginning, a recalibration that will continue to unfold in perfect ways as you learn to live from this foundation of trust and surrender. You don't need to maintain the peak state you've experienced. You simply need to trust that it has permanently raised your baseline and opened new possibilities for your continued evolution. Rest now in this ultimate knowing. You are infinitely loved, perfectly guided, and completely supported in every moment of your existence. The same force that brought you to tonight's experience will continue to orchestrate your path with wisdom beyond your comprehension and love beyond your imagination. Welcome to the peace of perfect surrender. Welcome to the freedom of absolute trust. Welcome to your life as a conscious partner, with the infinite intelligence that dreams all realities into being. As you rest in this profound state of surrender and trust, feeling completely held by the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all existence, I want to reflect with you on the magnificent being you have become through tonight's journey. the new you that has emerged from the depths of transformation, ready to walk in the world as a living expression of coherent consciousness. You are no longer the person who began this journey hours ago. At every level, cellular, neurological, electromagnetic, and spiritual, you have been fundamentally transformed. The old patterns of limitation, fear, and separation that once defined your experience have been dissolved and replaced with new patterns of possibility, love, and unity. This is not a temporary state you visited, but a permanent upgrade to your very being. The new you operates from a completely different foundation of consciousness, where once you might have approached life from scarcity, fear, or the need to protect yourself from an unpredictable world, you now move from abundance, love, and trust in the benevolent intelligence that guides all experience. This shift in your foundational consciousness will influence every aspect of your life in ways both subtle and profound. Your relationships will never be the same. You now carry within your electromagnetic field the frequency of unconditional love and acceptance. People will respond to this coherent presence in you, often finding themselves more relaxed, more authentic, more hopeful simply by being in your vicinity. Your capacity for compassion has expanded because you now know, at the cellular level, that there is no real separation between yourself and others. When you look into someone's eyes, you see your own consciousness looking back at you through a different form. Your work and creative expression will naturally align more fully with your authentic purpose. The coherent frequency you now embody will guide you toward activities and contributions that not only serve your individual fulfillment, but also contribute to the healing and awakening of the collective field. You may find yourself naturally drawn to work that has meaning beyond personal success, work that serves the greater good while honoring your unique gifts and talents. Your physical health and vitality have been optimized through the genetic activations and cellular reprogramming you've experienced. Your immune system is functioning more efficiently. Your cardiovascular system is operating from coherence rather than stress. Your nervous system has been rewired to support expanded states of consciousness as your natural baseline. Your very cells are now programmed with the templates of optimal function and regenerative potential. But perhaps most importantly, your relationship with yourself has been forever transformed. You now know yourself not as a limited human struggling to become spiritual, but as unlimited consciousness expressing itself through the beautiful instrument of your human experience. This recognition eliminates the fundamental anxiety that drives most human suffering. The fear that you are not enough, that you are separate from love, that you must earn your worth through achievement or approval. The new you lives from the knowing that you are inherently worthy, infinitely loved, and completely connected to the source of all life. This knowing isn't a belief you're trying to maintain, but a lived reality encoded in your very cells. From this foundation of unshakable self-acceptance, you naturally radiate the same unconditional acceptance toward all beings and all experiences. Your intuitive capacities have been dramatically enhanced through the heart-brain coherence you've achieved. You now have direct access to forms of intelligence that transcend logical reasoning, the ability to sense the deeper patterns underlying surface appearances, to perceive opportunities and possibilities before they become obvious, to know truth directly without needing external validation or proof. The new you is also a natural healer and teacher, not through any special training or techniques, but simply through the coherent presence you now embody. Your electromagnetic field has become a source of entrainment for others, naturally helping them access their own states of coherence and expanded awareness. You don't need to try to heal or teach anyone. Your very being does this automatically when you're aligned with your authentic nature. Your perception of time and causality has shifted as well. You now understand that past, present, and future are constructs of linear thinking, and that all possibilities exist simultaneously in the eternal now. This understanding frees you from the limitations of believing that your past determines your future, or that change must happen gradually over time. You know that transformation can be instantaneous when the right conditions are present, conditions you now know how to create. The new you also carries within your consciousness the recognition of your role in the collective evolution of humanity. You understand that your personal awakening is simultaneously a contribution to the awakening of all consciousness. This understanding infuses even ordinary activities with sacred purpose. You're not just living your individual life, but participating consciously in the greatest transformation in human history. Your relationship with challenge and difficulty has been completely transformed. Where once you might have seen problems as evidence of your limitations or reasons for despair, you now recognize all circumstances as opportunities for growth, service, and the expression of your expanded capacities. You approach challenges with curiosity rather than resistance, knowing that they are perfectly designed to help you discover and embody new levels of your potential. The new you is also a bridge between worlds, between the world of ordinary consciousness and the world of awakened awareness, between the world of separation and the world of unity, between the world of limitation and the world of infinite possibility. Through your presence and example, you help others remember that these seemingly different worlds are actually one world seen from different perspectives. As you prepare to emerge from tonight's sacred journey and begin living as this new version of yourself, remember that embodying this transformation is not about being perfect or maintaining peak states at all times. It's about allowing your natural coherence to express itself more and more fully as you release the habits and patterns that create incoherence. Some days you may feel completely aligned and expanded. Other days you may temporarily forget your true nature and fall back into old patterns. This is all part of the integration process. The key is to be gentle with yourself, to trust the process, and to remember that each return to coherence is deeper and more stable than the last. You have been given a tremendous gift tonight, not just the experience of transformation, but the capacity to continue transforming, to keep evolving, to remain open to ever deeper levels of awakening and service. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of your life as a consciously evolving being. Welcome to the new you, coherent, compassionate, creative, and eternally connected to the infinite source of all possibilities. Welcome to your life as a living bridge between what was and what's becoming, between who humanity has been and who we're destined to become. The universe celebrates your awakening. Life itself rejoices in your return to wholeness. And somewhere in the quantum field of infinite possibility, new realities are already crystallizing around the frequency of love and coherence you now embody. You are the new you. You are the future of human consciousness. You are the universe awakening to its own infinite nature through the precious gift of your individual awareness. Rest now and dream the new world into being.